All right. Yeah, I kind of want to feel like I'm a late night host in, like the 1940s giving an interview here. Watch this. All right. Yeah. That's good. It's good. Yeah. Yeah. Good point. Never thought of it like that. Yeah. Well, let me just ash this cigarette out. And scene. Coming to you from his studio apartment in Toronto, it's the Backyard Variety Tour, featuring your host, Ian Pozz. Okay. What's up, Yardies, and welcome to the Backyard Variety Tour. I'm your host, Ian Pozz, and this is episode 289 with Pasha Rostami. About 5 or 6 years ago, I was looking for a place to live. I used Craigslist. I came to see this place that I'm currently in. Started out in the basement, actually. Basement apartment. The reason I liked it, 8-foot ceilings. Me, 6'5". Basement, you don't normally get that. 8-foot ceilings in a basement. Lots of room, lots of amenities for its own place and for being a roommate place. So me and Pasha, relatively the same age. I think maybe the same age. He was living top floor, and he also worked in the industry. Worked for E1. We'll talk about that. And so it was really nice to use Craigslist, find a great place, live with a great person. And then eventually Pasha moved back to Iran. I took the upstairs and I rented out the basement to a couple of friends along the way. Now, I just rent the whole thing myself. So yeah, that's how I know Pasha. And I believe I remember him telling me that the only other person vying for the apartment at the time was like a Miss Cleo type lady. So it was pretty easy to select me. Or was it? We'll find out after this. Today's episode is brought to you by Vern's Top Shelf Wood Making in Tahoe, Tennessee. And if you don't believe me, that's a real place, look it up. You're going to look quite foolish. So thanks to, what was it? Vern's. Let me just look at my notes here where it's obviously written down. Vern's Hardware. Vern's Hardware? Damn it. Vern's Wood Carving. Vern's Wood Carving. Thanks to them for being a sponsor today out of Tahoe, Tennessee. What else? Oh, and as always, we want to thank Russell for everything that he does for the podcast. Graphics, music, all that stuff. Huge help. So thanks to Russell. And let's get into Halfassed Jokes. Halfassed Jokes. Let's see what we got here. Half-assed jokes. Okay, here's one. I think if sleeves were mandatory on Subway sandwich employees, arm hair wouldn't be a mandatory topping. Okay, half-assed jokes. Let's see what else we got here. Okay, here's one I kind of like. For such an important thing, we as a people are pretty living close to the edge with keys, house keys, car keys. We're pretty loose with them, for something that's so important. We jingle them, we toss them, we throw them, we swing them, we shake them, we turn them. I mean, your whole life could be turned upside down. Okay, half-assed jokes. Half-assed jokes. That's the half-assed jokes. Was that last one really a joke? It's more of an observation. Okay, let's go one more. Wild card round. Okay. Oh, yeah, okay. So Mount Rushmore, in honor of the presidents, they were like, let's carve their heads in giant rocks. And the guy's like, but what about the rest of them? Just give them a day. So we're going to play all the usual fun and games. What's going on in the world? Hockey is back. Hockey is back. We're a couple days in. My team, the Dallas Stars, riddled with COVID cases. Doesn't surprise me. They do everything bigger in Texas. Watching Spit and Chicklets lately. And Spit and Chicklets actually was one of the first podcasts that I started watching during the pandemic that kind of got me invested into podcasts and be like, oh, this is kind of cool. Maybe I do like this. So I was watching Spit and Chicklets, and the thing I hate about these podcasts is it's like no one takes it seriously. People are sitting there on their phones. I don't want to watch someone on their phone in real life if I'm talking to them. Okay. So why do I want to watch that on a television show? That's not entertainment. You should be, there's just, and I get it that they're taking little breaks and how can you be on camera for 3 hours without looking at your phone? And I got to text my friends of what I'm doing during no, just do it. You're a performer. You're on camera. Put the phone away. Like, this is not the absolute real me. This is a performance. And that's the difference, it just pisses me off that I looked at these podcasts and I was like, oh, this is cool. It kind of got me into podcasts. And now my production value, my sound, my camera angles, my graphics, my editing, the time I put into this, I'm like, I'm fucking better than these guys. Sure, maybe they already have the following. They have a following, whatever. Sure, they can maybe get some guests that bring, thousands upon thousands of views to their channel, and I feel like I'll get there too. I'm not worried about it. I'm just trying to have fun. I'm trying to provide quality entertainment. So that's one thing you don't do is you don't look at your phone. You don't look at your phone. Yeah. Okay. So this is a little segment I like to call things not to do on a podcast. I gotta shit. Gotcha. My MGM subscription's up. Because I don't want to talk about this right now. Because I told you already why. Yes, it happens to all men. It's my mom. Oh, we're rolling? And we're back. Fucking headphones are in the shot. Who left the headphones in the shot? Was it you? Get my ex-wife on the line. Oh, the fucking headphones. Okay, I'm reloading. Where's my favorite pen? Oh, there it is. Feel a little naked without it. I need something to do with my life. I gotta get canceled. That's what you gotta do. You gotta get canceled to get successful. God, take me now. Yes. Yes, that's right, doctor. Yeah. It's exactly what you said. Tiny penicitis. Tiny penicitis. Yeah. Damn it. I knew it was that. I had a feeling. Well, anyways, thanks for clearing it up. Okay. Take care. Well, I'll try. Yeah. So I don't know if you guys heard, but just got off the phone with my doctor and it's confirmed. I've got a positive test for tiny penicitis. So I'm sorry. I just don't know if I can do the podcast today. Excuse me. Are you crazy? Of course I can do the podcast with a tiny penis. Get out of here. Oh, I almost forgot today's secret word. Today's secret word is bong. Bong. Today's secret word is bong. Okay, we got a terrific show for you this evening. Pasha Rostami is going to stop by. Musical guest, special musical performance by Celine Dion. Celine Dion will be here. That's crazy. Stay tuned for Celine Dion. And coming up next is Pasha Rostami. Well, actually, how long has it been? 3 or 4 years maybe since you left?
4 years now.
4 years. So I gave the kind of the background of our relationship in the intro, just telling how, I found the place on Craigslist and we were roommates for a bit and all that. But I know you told me you were on set today, and we'll get into the acting thing a little bit, but you're working 5 days a week right now on this? Is it still that soap opera?
It's actually 7 days a week. So
What?
I'm working every day. So the set hours are different here in Iran. The way we work is we work every day, and we get every 10 days, we get 1 day off.
Wow. What?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you get paid extra, a bit better compensation for that, obviously? Because that's technically includes a lot of OT.
So,
and turnaround.
Yeah, it does. So the way we usually do stuff here is that we don't get paid based on an hour. We get paid on something that we discussed in the beginning on our contract. So it's a monthly payment. So we usually try to negotiate something which is, lucrative for both. Yeah, my cousin's here, so he's not trying to get into the camera.
Well, a guest appearance by Pasha's cousin.
So the way we work is we try to get the best deal possible at the beginning of the whole thing. So there's not a set rate.
Yeah.
Say.
So it's negotiation. Do you have an agent?
Negotiation based. Yeah. We do have agents. It's actually just picking up. So a lot of people are getting into it. A lot of people are getting agents. So we have the superstars who have the agents now, but it's not common. It's not very common here.
Really? That's interesting.
Yeah.
So a lot of people do their own negotiating?
A lot of people do that, yeah. So you get good at it eventually, yeah.
Yeah, really. That could help you out really anywhere, being your own negotiator agent.
Yeah, exactly.
Who was your agent when you were here? Was it Lindsay, who's my agent as well? Or no, it was Lauren.
It was Lauren Zach. Was Lauren Zach, yeah. I heard she's in LA right now. We are connected through Instagram. We speak every now and then, and I actually saw her when I was in LA. She's doing good. She's become a solid agent now.
Yeah, I got to get her on the cast. You just kind of reminded me. What were you doing in LA? What was going on?
I went there for my buddy's wedding, so I stayed there for a week or two. It was 10 days actually. Yeah, it was 10 days. It was so much fun.
Any business? Did you take care of any business?
No. It was pure fun.
Oh, that's not a bad thing neither.
Yeah. To be honest,
you're in Tehran right now?
I am in Tehran right now.
We've talked about this a bit before, but I'm sure there's a lot of people who don't know. I kind of looked it up. It said since 2016, Tehran has about 8 million people. So that's about
Mm-hmm.
6-ish more than Toronto. I don't know, maybe it's more than that now.
Well, Toronto is the same. So we have the GTA, and so Tehran is the same. So we have pretty much the same thing. Like we have a lot of people who come from the suburbs to Tehran. So during the day, the population is around 20 million, but at night it's about 8.5. I think it should be more now.
Wow. Are
Yeah.
the studios like in the city or?
So it's really
Or do you
funny
film
because
at a
like
studio or do you film on
we
location?
do film in studios. So we have a lot of small studios, and then we have a very big one, which is one of the locations where we work at right now. So there's this huge studio or a complex of studios, which is, we have all these different, like Pinewood, like we have all these different closed sets. And at the same time, we have all these different, like old Tehran, old Shiraz, all these different cities. We have the, different versions of them over there. But yeah, we have a lot of different studios here in Tehran. But majority of the work that we do is actually not done in studios. We rent out locations, like actual locations. We go into them.
This soap opera you were on this soap opera when you were working in Tehran, and then you moved to Toronto, and then you went back and worked on the same soap opera. Is that correct?
No.
No?
No. So we actually don't call them soap operas here. So let me explain this to you. This is interesting. So we call them series. Okay, so we don't have soap operas. This is like the series that I'm on right now. Like all these different series that I've worked on, they're completely separate. So there's not.
And sorry, I'm just going to interrupt for a second, because
opera,
if I call it a soap opera, it's almost like a downgrade, because American soap operas are like, you automatically think cheesy, over the top acting, like not that good of a show. So that's why I can see you wouldn't call them a soap opera, right?
No. It's not only that. It's just that they're not actually soap operas. So, for example, in Canada, when we produce something, we actually do them in like series of 8, 12, sometimes, or at least before it was 24. But now, like everything that you see on Netflix is either 8, 12. I don't think there's anything more than that. Is there?
Sometimes it varies now because it is streaming. So you'll see 13 sometimes on HBO. You'll see 6.
Yeah.
Sometimes they just do 6.
Like miniseries. So here in Iran, the way it works is we have series that are usually between 25 to 50. So all these different series that I have worked on miniseries, which was 6 episodes, and then I worked another which was 12, and then we worked on another which was 24. But the one that you saw on Instagram was actually a 50 episode series that I did. And it became very popular here in Iran. It became a hit.
Gotcha.
So this didn't have anything to do with what I did before I come to Canada. This was a completely separate gig that I did. But the one that I'm working on right now is actually the longest series ever produced here in Iran, which is 250x.
How many seasons is that? Like 10?
It's actually a very stupid thing that they're doing right now. So it's like from 1 to 70 is season 1. And then from 70 to 95 for some reason is season 2. And from 95 to 250 is season 3. I have no idea, or I have no clue why they're doing that, but that's the way that they are saying that it's going to be shown.
For 70 episodes for like season 1, how long does that take to film? Like 2 years? So does that mean season 1 is like 2 years?
So the whole thing is going to take around 3.5 to 4 years to be shot. So you're 6 months in, not even close to the first.
Hey, you know what? That's a sweet gig though, because you basically have job security for the next like 3 or 4 years, right? Exactly. Unless all of a sudden you start pissing people off and they write your character to like fall off a cliff or something.
Exactly. I gotta see, like I love the crew that I'm working with right now, but eventually if you get tired of each other, then that's something that I might do.
There you go. I know
you have to kill me.
I wanted to ask you about this because I looked at the Pasha Rostami fan page. So I'm sure that's not you that does it. Someone made it for you.
No, there's a ton
Is it
of
someone
them,
from the show that made it for you, or is it just a fan that made it?
It's just a fan. It's actually not one. There's like 8 or 9 of them.
Yeah, they all have a lot of followers though. But one interesting thing I saw from them is that because you're a young guy, we're the same age, I think. You had shots, you told me about this period piece, and you had shots where you're like a 50, 60-year-old man, and the makeup looks so good. It looks so good. I'm so impressed with it. Like the detail in the gray and the hair and how they just make you look older. And tell me like a bit about that.
So we like again, let me see what would be the literal translation of the series name. It was called the moment of dusk till dawn, or something like that.
That's a short moment. No. That's like lightning in a bottle.
Exactly.
Or no, wait, dusk till dawn. I guess that's maybe 12 hours. Never mind. I thought
no. So I'm saying this wrong. So what do you call that
magic hour?
That is dawn. That's the magic hour. I'm just trying to get the translation correct. So basically, it is that moment when you can see things, and at the same time you can't. So it's like just at the tip of the morning where
I love that.
You can basically, So that was the name of the show. It was in 3 different eras. So the first one was in so I have to convert all those times. So the 60s here in Iran would be 1980s. Yeah. So in 1980s, we had the war here in Iran, which was with Iraq. So the first part of the show was happening at that time. So the second era that we were in was in 1995-ish. It was like 10 years after. So in the first, we were shooting the first and the second era at the same time. So we had to do 2 things. So in the first era, I didn't have any beard on, and in the second one, I did have the beard. So I actually went to the war, and I actually was caught by the enemy, and I went to Iraq for like 8 years, and nobody knew that I was there, so everybody thought that I was dead. So when I came back, I had the beard on.
Great storyline. So great storyline for
character. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So so we were doing both eras at the same time. So we had to, do the whole makeup. So
is that tough?
In the morning, I was a young guy. It was actually
even in the same day. Even in the same day, you would play.
Yeah, in the same day. Yeah,
wow, that's tough.
So I had to go on set at like 3 in the morning, and makeup was done till like 6:30 or 7. So it took 4 hours to be done. And then I would play the character till like noon or something or whatever. And then I would, take everything off. The rest of it was like a completely different era. So yeah, it was tough. It was good. It was fun.
Was there anything as an actor yourself, did you do any subtle things between the differences in age, even just for yourself to say, this is how I'm going to play it a bit different when I'm this age compared to this? Or did you just say, I'm this constant character other than my beard is different and hair?
So aside from age, I think one of the things that really was trying to show in the character was, so before I go to war, or before I went to war, it was a young, happy person who was in love with my best friend's sister. And, we were just trying to have fun, go out, and, we were thinking of sort of do something which was, of that age.
Look who's here. Look who's here. Sorry to interrupt.
Corky.
He's been interrupted. He interrupts every friggin' podcast.
I fucking miss him so much.
What number are you on the call sheet? Like, do you guys have that?
Actually, the first one. Yeah.
You're number 1 on the call sheet. Holy cow. Holy. Yeah. Bobby Big Wheel over here. That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah, but tomorrow it's going to be a tough.
So you're in what? Every scene? You're like the Tony Soprano. You're in every scene, pretty much?
Pretty much, yeah.
For 4 years. Oh, that's going to be nice, man.
Yeah.
That's going to be nice.
Yeah.
Good.
I don't know what's going to happen after, but I just hope the outcome is good.
Have you seen anything yet? Any
No,
episodes at all? Nothing yet.
Not yet. No.
Is it going to be anywhere that we could see it, like Netflix or anything?
Oh, it's not going to come on Netflix. No, unfortunately not. But I'm also, I will be, because I talked to our, what do we call it in Canada? I forgot that. Like the person who, like the first AD or the person who plans out all the scenes.
First AD.
It's the first AD. So we say the first AD is different from the person who coordinates all the scenes or that they plan all the scenes.
Oh.
So there are 2 separate roles. So I thought maybe in Canada we have the same thing. But,
Canada is basically the location manager and the first AD and the production designer all kind of coming together to see what could be achieved when and where.
Oh, okay.
What,
Yeah.
Logistics.
Exactly. So here I'm actually going to be acting in a movie as well in about a month and a half. So I think that one is going to come out on Netflix, or maybe it will. I know it's going to go on a festival tour and then like a...
Yeah, so it'll be like 2 years or something.
Yeah, exactly. And then after that, it's going to come on Netflix or something.
Let me know if it does. Let me know. I'd love to see that. Is it a movie that you get to sink your teeth in and play kind of a different character than...
Yeah,
something?
It's actually a guy. Yeah. So it's... I actually love the role. So everything is taking place in a car. So it's a boyfriend and girlfriend who are going from Tehran to the north of Iran. And it's just during that time that everything happens. So the guy is a drunk and he's like constantly drinking, and he's like, the girlfriend is just like,
and that's you?
Yeah, that's me.
You haven't filmed anything for it yet?
No. It's going to start in a month and a half.
Is that going to be hard playing like a super drunk guy, or have you thought about that, how you're going to play it?
No, not really. I haven't really thought about it. I was actually reading a few acting books to see what is the best way to do it.
How are you going to film? Is the other show ending before you do this movie, or do you get time off?
No, it's not ending. No, I'm going to get some time off.
Okay.
Yeah.
For how long? A month? 25 days you'll shoot it?
29
so they're gonna
days.
Shoot, they're going to shoot everyone else's scenes on the show that you're on right now for those like, wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, you are number 1. Rearranging the whole schedule. Holy cow. So one tip, I don't need to give you tips, but one thing that I've heard through comedians playing drunk is that to play drunk, you act like you're not drunk. Like you have to pretend like you're not drunk, because when anyone's actually drunk, they try and be sober, right? They try and keep it together as much as they can. So you want to be drunk, but keep it together as much as you can, kind of thing.
That's a good tip. I was thinking of some other thing too. I was thinking of memorizing all the lines and then actually get drunk. On set for 29 days. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Why not do a little bit of method to figure it out?
Exactly.
Some lines. I do that when I'm writing. Once I kind of exhaust the sober portion of the writing, I'm like, let me have some drinks and take a pass through the script and see how my inflection changes with certain characters, and say what I'm really meaning now, kind of thing. So.
Yeah, thanks for the tip. It was a good tip, actually.
How many years were you acting in Iran before you came over?
for a long time. It was like.
So did they not see that?
I was really doing good here in Iran, and I was actually getting a lot of good gigs. And when I came to Toronto,
Why did you leave?
I think I told you the story, but I wanted to go there. I wanted to come to Canada because I wanted to start an acting career in Canada, and then I wanted to go to LA to sort of go to Hollywood. That was my big dream because I wanted to become like a famous independent actor.
At what age?
That's something that I.
When was
Say
that?
that again. I'm sorry.
At what age, did you want to?
24, 25, I guess.
Okay.
I was 25 when I came to Canada. That's the reason why I came to Canada. But I went to Sheridan and I studied filmmaking. And at the same time, I was going to David Rothenberg for acting classes. And from the very beginning, he told me that you don't need to come to my elementary classes. You have to come to my advanced classes and blah, 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 blah. So I did all of that. But then I ran out of money, so I couldn't really go to auditions. I had to go to work and stuff like that. So that's one of the reasons why I couldn't really follow acting. But Lauren was really helpful in the sense that I told her that I don't want to be typecast. I don't want to be typecasted. So she actually sent me to gigs where I wasn't typecasted.
That's good.
But one of the things that happened, like I remember the first gig that I got, there were like 15 or 20 people who came for audition. And it was between me and a guy from Montreal who was like one of us was supposed to get the gig, and I got it. And I think it was a commercial or something like a short film for Samsung, something like that, because I remember it was about 10 minutes. And I got it. And at that time, I wasn't like I had my permanent residency in Canada, but I didn't have my passport. So they asked me to bring my passport because we wanted to go to Romania to film it. And when I got there and I gave them my passport and my permanent residency, they told me that, no, I'm sorry, you have to have a passport because we're flying like in 2 days. And if you don't have a passport, we have to get you a visa, and it's going to take a long time for us to do that. So I lost the gig. It happened to me again for another gig, which was supposed to happen in the States. So I lost 2 gigs over there. And then after that, like majority of the things that I went to, I wasn't really putting my focus on it because it was, I didn't have enough money. And, you know, it was.
Yeah. So is that why you bounced over? You bounced over, I don't know, I'm just making this up, but maybe you went with savings, gave it a shot, the acting thing. And then you're like, well, I'm running out of money and some of the gigs haven't turned out. So I'm going to go do the E1 thing. And then when you do the E1 thing, you're pretty much working a full-time job. How do you go for auditions while you're doing that? Because this job is actually paying. Is that kind of how it happened?
So not exactly. So at the beginning, when I ran out of money, I was still at Sheridan, and I started working at a poutine store at Smokes Poutine on Dufferin and Dundas, right on the corner. So it was a lot of fun. I actually had a lot of fun.
Oh my God!
Did
you actually have fun? Did you actually?
I actually had fun. It was
really
a lot of fun.
The reason I asked because Smoked Poutine is such a shit show. If you're going in there at 2 a.m.
I know it is. I know. I was there till 4 a.m. actually.
Okay, so this is kind of like a one word. It's kind of like a sand dune, rocky, sand pit. Think of.
Sand dune rock.
Have you seen? It's a major filming location. Like I don't know how many times it's come up as a filming location. We're like,
Canyon?
Kind of like that. But what would a smaller version that anyone would just go film at? There may be a lake and sand dune, and you would jump off, or it could also be a construction site. It rhymes with. Think of the Mori. Think of Mori, the Maury Povich show. Are you familiar with that? It rhymes with more. It rhymes with.
This is going terrible. Like this is horrible.
This is perfect. This is perfect television. Us struggling is perfect. So, Rhymes with Mori. Think of a sand pit.
Rhymes with Mori.
Some sort of sand pit location.
Google this. I'm Googling this.
What else can I give you? Okay, not here we go. No, don't Google it. We'll get it. Not a nickel, not a dime, not a nickel, not a dime, but what's next? Nickel, dime.
Loony or
no,
toonie?
under that. The 25-cent piece.
Quarter?
Yeah, so take the first. Yeah, so take the first bit of that and rhyme it with Mori.
Quarry?
Yes, we got it. Quarry is friggin' hard. Quarry is friggin' hard. Okay.
Oh man, it's fun.
Okay. What do we know about a quarry?
Sorry, my English is not as good as yours. You know that.
That's just a tough one. That's a tough one, though. I had trouble explaining it. It's because it goes both ways, right? It's almost how good are my clues kind of thing, as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
What do you know about a quarry? I know that we film there all the time on shows that I location manage. They're always looking for a quarry.
If you go to the south of Iran, we actually have a lot of quarries. We have, we actually have, it's not a studio, but it's like a place where it's created for, so what do you use quarry for mainly?
Well, we used it for, we
used
it for someone to jump off a cliff.
Yeah,
so we used it for a character was running from an alien and they reach the edge of the quarry and they have to jump off the cliff and drop 100 feet into the water to escape. So it's like a beach, it's like a rock, sandy desert, forest mix.
It's actually funny because like we do have a lot of those in the south of Iran, but we have a very famous film, both internally and internationally. It's called Harmonica, and everything is actually based off of like kids who are playing in the south of Iran, and they're constantly jumping off quarries just to have fun. It's not for if somebody's following them or whatever, but it's like they're not running away. It's like a lot of those stuff. But for me myself, I have never used it I have never been on a set where I needed to jump off a quarry, but I've done it so many times for myself.
A lot of people do it.
Go to the south of Iran, and there are so many quarries that you go and jump off of. It's so much fun.
For fun. That's what they do it. I think in It 1, I think, and many movies like all those types of movies, like Stand By Me kind of thing or something. They go to a quarry and they jump off or something. It's like a fun.
Yeah. Exactly.
Cool.
But we did go to like a very high mountain for this series that we're doing, and we had our car, me and my girlfriend, sort of. We went to cliff, and we had our car right on top of the cliff, and we were like standing right there, and we were thinking of jumping off, and then we decided not to, and we're like all the bullshit.
Okay, that was good. Next one. Oh, okay. 2 words.
Okay.
Not closed, but not
open?
Closed. Yeah. And this is like a saying. So 2 words. It's a saying that someone is like, oh, you can ask me anything. I'm an
open-minded person.
Kind of.
Open book? I'm an open book.
There you go.
Woo! Woo!
Are you an open book?
I think so.
I think so too, but I have to say also not, because I also play my cards very close to my chest if I don't think I know you or trust you or something like that, you know? So I'm a very open book with a lot of people, I think, even strangers, but certain times it just depends how I'm feeling. If, you know, I play my cards close to my chest on how I'm feeling, what I'm thinking, sometimes that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. I think I'm the same. I am an open book to the people who I know, but not to the people who I don't. So, yeah, I think I'm pretty much the same.
But even, well, here's the thing though, even with strangers, like say I'm talking on a dating app, I'm a fairly open book on a dating app too, but I guess maybe I'm still also a little bit closed off about personal things on there. So I guess it's 50-50.
Me too. I'm the same. Yeah. Because personality wise, I think you and I are very close in terms of like how we sort of connect with other people.
Okay, holy cow. I don't know what this is. I know the first 2 words. This is going to be a tough one. It's going to be a tough one. You would probably know the second one.
Okay.
But the first word is if you get bitten by a snake or a spider or something, it injects venom into you. What's that venom called?
Shit.
And it's probably not even as complex as you're thinking. It's just like, oh, I drank the wrong thing, or I'm trying to murder you. Let me sprinkle a bit of this
like
in your drink. Blank ivy. You run through the bush.
Like a poison?
There, that's the first word. And then the second word is, I don't know what it is. So, but I'll try and explain it anyways.
Okay.
So, I'm going to have to cut the word in 2. Do you remember where I'm from?
Sault Ste. Marie.
Do you remember the short form of that?
Sioux? The Sioux?
Yeah, so that's the first half of the word. And then the second half of the word is blank and cheese, a macaroni dish that's easy to make.
Sorry, I got
blank and
for a sec. Just
blank and cheese, a macaroni dish that's cheap and easy to make. It's yellow. Blank and cheese.
Yeah, it's blank and cheese, like a mac and cheese.
Yeah. So where I'm from, the short form of where I'm from.
Okay, Sioux.
And then the big, yeah, and then leave out the N cheese, and it's just the
sumac. Oh, yeah. Okay, poison sumac.
Yeah. Do you know what that is? What is it?
I have no fucking idea.
That's a segment called Topics Not Trending. Topics Not. Yeah. Whoa, we barely just made it out of that one alive.
Love that.
Okay.
I love that.
This is great. This is great.
I think the one thing that people really don't know about Iranians is that they're really friendly. And it's a very friendly country. We have a lot of European tourists who come to Iran, not a lot of Canadians though. And I think it's one of those places where people are going to be amazed by once they come to. It's not about Tehran and Toronto, because Tehran and Toronto, they're major cities. They're like pretty much whatever you find in Toronto, you find in Tehran, and whatever you find in Tehran, you find in Toronto. You have a lot of cafes, you have a lot of restaurants, you have a lot of people, you have a lot of parties, you have a lot of blah, 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 blah. Whatever you find in big cities, you find them here or any other major city that you find around the world or you go to around the world. But I think the major difference between Iran and Canada is that, as a whole, is that we have a lot of islands and a lot of like warm places where you can go to and have a lot of fun. Whereas like with Canada in the spring and summer, it's perfect, but even in the winter time, you can go to a lot of places where you can go skiing at the same time, but go to like an island and swim in the ocean, which is, you know, something which is very interesting to me. That's one of the things that I think is different in Iran and Canada. The other thing that I think is like in terms of the culture is that people here tend to gather pretty much every night of the week. And wow, just give me 1 sec. Podcast Sorry, I'm speaking Farsi. So.
Oh, tell me about. Didn't you tell me pajamas is a Farsi word? You found out.
It is a Farsi word.
That's
so
interesting.
It's really funny because like pa in Farsi would say pajamas, but it's like pa. It means leg or foot. And then jama, which in Farsi we say jame, means clothes, something that covers your feet or your leg yeah. So it's called pajame. And then
that's great.
Eventually it went into French and became like pajamas or pajama, or then it became an English word and became pajamas. Yeah.
That's
well,
cool.
one thing that I wanted to tell you is that like people here tend to gather every night, well, not with COVID, but like the relationship between people is different in terms of like people tend to be together every night, whereas in Canada you tend to do everything over the weekend. And I think that's one of the major differences between the two cities.
Oh, that's cool.
And it's not a good thing. I'm not telling you it's a good thing. I'm just saying that there's a difference. Yeah, it comes from the Iranian culture. It's one of the things that we, it's like, it's really funny because like in Iran, it's really hard to say no. It's something that I actually learned in Canada, to say no. It's a good thing. Like when somebody calls you and tells you like, oh, we're coming over in Iran, you have to be hospitable. It's very rude to say no. Sure, come on over. But in Canada, you learn that. You say no. Dude, I'm tired. I just don't want you to come over. We can hang out some other time, which is one of the major things that I learned in Canada.
Tell me about your business. I saw you who's running? Is it a friend with you?
So me and my business partner, we actually, when I came back to Iran, we started the studio because I did a lot of production back in Canada. So when I came back, I wanted to start my own like production house or whatever. And then,
it's like a boutique studio. I looked online. Is that the house that you're in right now as well?
No, we actually have an office and we have like
it's nice
10 employees right now. Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah. It's good. We do a lot of design. We do a lot of video. We do a lot of social media and stuff like that. We are expanding our services to cover digital marketing as well, which is good. But majority of the time that I'm on set, I have my business partner who's taking care of a lot of the things. But for a lot of the things that we have to do, I actually ask my or our first AD to give me some time to go back to the office and do whatever I have to do and come back.
Gotcha.
So yeah, but like before the series, like in all honesty, if you want to do something, like if you want to do big business, you have to be famous too. So that's one of the things that I'm counting on.
Interesting.
So a lot of people will see your show, a lot of jobs will come your way and stuff like that. These are the strategies that we have for the business.
Yeah, I mean, that's the way it works in Hollywood. I mean, I look at podcasts and I see I have better production value, better sound, better video, better ideas, better structure. I'm more professional. But just because that person's like a stand-up comedian and already has a following of 20,000 people, they're considered a brand or something, right? But
exactly.
It could go both ways. I could maybe break through and become a brand, but I do understand what you're saying. And I think you're correct in the sense that you kind of have to be mutually exclusive as a brand and a celebrity and come together. And then it's like this overarching umbrella of possible success.
Yeah. Exactly. That's the way we were looking at it too.
A lot of the stuff on your guys' Instagram looks really cool. The design, it looks more design oriented, less like filming commercials and stuff like that. Is that right? More design marketing?
At the beginning, we actually wanted to do more video, but then eventually we got into design because for video, we had to, create a lot of infrastructure, whereas with design, we still have to do that, but like we did a lot of design for different people and they loved it. And, we sort of got dragged towards that, which was good.
Okay, man. Well, we're going to wrap it up shortly here. Thank you for your time. I know it's Friday. You've had a long day. And thank you for doing this. It was a lot of fun catching up, and I hope we do it again soon.
Yeah.
There's one thing we do here just before you go, and it's called the Gauntlet. So basically, welcome to the Gauntlet.
Yeah. Thank you.
What's something you were really into as a kid?
Movies.
Where does the time go?
I don't know.
What's your favorite? What's your favorite way to waste time?
There are a lot of different ways that I like to waste my time. But my favorite, I don't know, just do nothing.
I love it. That was kind of my answer too. It's kind of like that guy in Office Space. He's like, "What would you do with $1 million, man?" Like, me? Other than 2 chicks at the same time? So nothing. No, I wouldn't do anything. I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah.
Yeah. Nothing. Just do nothing. That's a lot of fun.
What noise do you love?
Fireworks.
Oh, I love that answer.
Yeah.
Why are we here?
To fuck shit up.
Love that answer. What does the world need most?
Kindness.
Love it. Pasha, you made it through the gauntlet. Thank you so much for being here. Stick around for a second after I sign off. This is the Backyard Variety Tour with Pasha Rostami, episode 289. Make sure you stay tuned for After the Conversation for a special musical performance by Celine Dion. Celine Dion is here, everyone. We'll see you next time.
I'll see you next time.